Hello, and welcome to Invitation to a Conversation. I'm Pamela Bailey. My guest today is my part two conversation with two-term Mayor Cornell L. Harvey. How you doing this morning, Mr. Harvey?
I'm great, Ms. Bailey. Thank you for inviting me back to come back again.
Oh yeah, I had to. I had lots of questions. You've been in office for 2 terms, and this is my chance to ask you questions that I've always wanted to ask you. We left off last Saturday talking about the Ahmaud Arbery case, and I only have a couple of more questions about that case, and then we'll go back into city government.
Okay.
All right. What was your reaction when you found out that there was 11 whites and 1 African American on the jury?
Well, I think my reaction was just like everyone else here, especially down in the South. We know how sometimes things are where a jury get picked and it seems as it is selected or rigged, so to speak, in favor of the other folks getting off. We know about the Emmett Till jury. We know about the other civil rights leaders with Black people who have been slain, what happened down in the South. So it kind of made me think back to, are we going back to this again? And I got to thinking, I said, we're here in the 21st century. This is 2021, and we still doing the same old thing. It looked like some of all that stuff would have died out by now, and we have a new generation of people who think differently, who act differently, and who would be different.
And from what we learned, they did think different and they did act different because we got the conviction that everyone was looking for. Most of the people were looking for.
That is true. And as I was on the courthouse grounds, when the verdict came in, I could see the jubilation that people had, and I saw them jump up and shout, and it was just so full of emotion, and it was a historic moment. And I was glad that I was there during that historic moment.
Anytime during the trial, were you inside the courtroom to see the trial being presented?
No, I could not get in. As a matter of fact, due to COVID restriction, they limited the seating in the courtroom to only family members. So therefore, we really couldn't get in. And every once in a while, one of the family members would allow someone to come in and sit in their place. But it was very limited to get in. And I imagine I could have used my title to get in maybe, but that would have been wrong on a sense, because there were so many others who wanted to get in. There were so many other family members who couldn't get in either. So I wasn't going to take that up like that.
What was your thoughts about the insensitive comments by the defense about saying Black pastors in the gallery?
That really incensed me, and it incensed a lot of pastors, especially around here, because every morning pastors came together on the courthouse ground, and they would have a prayer, and they prayed not only for Ahmaud's family, they prayed for the Michael family as well. So it really incensed everyone about that, because there were white pastors, there were Black pastors, there were Jewish pastors, there were Hispanic pastors. They all came together, formed a circle, and they prayed, and we prayed for justice, and we prayed for healing as well for each one of the families. So when that statement was made, it just sent a chord through, I think, everyone, and it galvanized the whole country to send pastors here and I'm so glad that he said pastors, because he could have said something else, and then they would have come just as well.
Yes. What was your expectations for the community protesting and marching for Ahmaud?
My expectation was the same as I said before when this first started. When I first got an opportunity to speak about it, was we welcome everyone to come here if they want to come here and protest if they want to, protest as loud, shout as loud as they want to, whisper as soft as they want to, but do it in peace and harmony. And we wanted people to come, but not to come to tear up our town. And realizing the town hasn't done anything to anyone. Someone done something wrong. So we need to focus on righting that wrong against those folks who did that wrong versus the whole town. And realizing we may have problems and issues here, but one thing we do, we come together and sit down and reason and come up with a solution as to how to do things. I think by doing that, you really can see the essence and the fabric of a town.
And the last question on the Ahmaud Arbery case, what do you think the climate is among people now that the verdict has came down? Because it's going to be a long healing process.
You're right about a long healing process. And one thing I've always tried to, you cannot tell what's in someone else's mind. You can only go by their actions, and sometimes their action will fool you. And that this city is about healing. There was a great coming together. People were really concerned, and they were scared as well. There was all types of emotions that were out there. My job was to ensure the safety of all the citizens here in Brunswick, and that's what I took very, very strongly, and it was a top priority of mine. After which, it was a lull in the feelings, I guess, and actions and whatever. But we have all still come together. It's still prevalent on everyone's mind. The city council took upon themselves to name a street in honorary of Ahmaud Arbery, and people. There were some who liked the idea. There were some who was against the idea. Some was against the idea, was saying that they didn't want to be reminded of what happened. However, you can't help but be reminded of it. People all around the world, when they call Brunswick name, they think about Ahmaud Arbery. That's just what it is. So when you come here, they can ride down a street called Albany Street to see some of the African-American, we have African-American museum there on Albany Street, a historic theater that was there. So there are some things that you will see, but it's really in remembrance of what has happened here, what has happened in our city. So the world will see that there was people who came together in peace and harmony. There were pastors who came from all denominations. There was prayer lifted up, and there were blessings that came down.
And I want to thank you and everyone who was involved, because it starts at the top. Because y'all were peaceful, you were sensitive, and you were open-minded to the issue of this case, that we did have a nonviolent protest and march before, during, and after the conviction of the 3 men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery. Thank you for your service.
No problem. Let me just say this too, is I really didn't think about as much until it actually happened. I know had there been another verdict of a different kind, there would have been so much turmoil and so forth. I didn't realize too, when the verdict came back in our favor as in guilty, those emotions was tied up too, and people wanted to let out those emotions of joy and exhilaration. Sometimes people have a tendency to tear up things when they do that too as well. So that came to mind, but I'm glad that greater minds prevail, and they marched peacefully, and they really got those emotions out to say, this little corner of the world here has justice.
And that's another great example that God answers prayers.
Yes.
Yes. Now back to city business. Why do developers want to express concern for downtown and not urban communities?
Well, I think it's because the city commission, when we started 8 years ago, we focus on downtown. We need something to draw the people into Brunswick, and we figured that if we could draw them downtown to the shops downtown, the restaurants downtown, that then they will filter out into the urban areas just as well. So our focus was on getting our downtown more revitalized, a resurgence. It really, there was vacant storefronts. There was a number of things. As a matter of fact, 6 o'clock, everything rose up and everything just died down. So we wanted to get a better nightlife, a better walking traffic downtown. And so, but with all that, you still see that there are some trickling into the urban areas, like Norwood Street is becoming available now. And I think people are beginning to realize, hey, Brunswick is a gym. No matter where it is, it's still a gym. So all we got to do is just polish it off, shine up a little bit, and it will shine. So therefore, I think people will be coming to the urban areas just as well.
And you segued into my next question. Will developers ever get to the urban communities? Are there anything in development now with the developers of a talk of what they want to see in the near future in the urban communities?
Yes, I would say yes. As a matter of fact, on Altalma Avenue, MLK, there is a housing, there's housing apartments that's going up, and you see that coming. It used to be an old school bus yard that the city sold and got it developed. Also, there is an old hotel on Gloucester Street, which is right across from our park. The individual is going to build about 130 to 40 apartments there, high rise. It'd be up to about 5 stories, and that will overlook our park, and I also overlook the marsh as well. So you'll see those things come to fruition. You will see building tiny houses, some going on Altalma Avenue, and also you see some going on MLK as well, down near G Street, historic G Street, and so forth. So things are really happening. It just takes government so long to get things done.
Do you have, and speaking of the tiny houses on MLK, can you give us any update on the tiny houses? Because that is going to be tiny houses for veterans. Am I correct?
Yes, it's tiny houses for homeless veterans. Sometimes veterans find themselves in a needy way, and that just to help them get back on their feet. And it's transitional housing. It's not a permanent housing for them as well. And they have built one house as a showcase to show and transport it here so people can see exactly what it's going to look like. However, the others will be coming. As I think they have built about 10 to 15 already in a little small town called Townsend, Georgia, and they would bring them here as soon as they get the infrastructure with the water and sewer and the electric set up. And they'll move right along. It's taken some time, but sometimes good things come to those who wait.
Is there an estimated date where it will be completed?
I basically don't know, but I'm rest assured that it will happen. I was saying all I can say is coming soon in the near future.
All right. Mayor Harvey, one of your slogans was building a better Brunswick. What was your ideal when you made that statement of building a better Brunswick?
Well, my idea was to build in your mind how you think about Brunswick and how you think about yourself. 8 years ago, we were in the doldrums. We were really not thinking so highly of ourselves and other folks saw that and they just kept dumping on us. So my idea was to, if I can build you up, then you can build Brunswick up. And that's what we set out about to do. If I can build your confidence in the leadership, then you can start building your confidence in yourselves and so forth, and we can do a lot better in your city. We set out about to hold our government accountable. We set out about making our government more efficient, and we did those things. And once we did those things, then people started having more confidence in the ability of the government to actually govern them and govern them in the right way. We did not increase our millage rate. We try to go with that, what we had. We also took back our taxes so we can do things on our own. We really set out about doing things on our own and being more efficient than we were before. And it has paid off. It's taken a little time, but has really paid off. Now we can see the fruits of our labor. We didn't have enough money sometimes to pay our employees a raise during that period of time. But now we find ourselves being able to take care of our employees. I'm so glad the ones who stuck with us and actually knew that eventually that we will honor our commitment. Now, our commitment was to ensure that we have all the right tools for our employees to do their job and do it well. And once they committed to us, we committed to them, and we committed to them that we will do the best we can to make sure that they have all the tools, and also that we will pay them adequately and pay them a good pay so they can do their job.
And once again, can you explain to the people what the millage rate is for those who don't know?
The millage rate is the property tax, what you charge for property taxes. If it's 1 mil, that means you charge $1 per thousand on your taxes. So.
Okay. Now, Brunswick just elected their new mayor. What did you think about the mayor race and the 8 candidates that were running?
Well, I kind of felt that it's going to take 8 of y'all to really come forward, and really, it felt pretty good because it kind of made me feel that I have made this job look easy, or it could have made people say, "Well, I can do better than him." Either way, whatever it is, I really felt that the next mayor can do some things even better. I felt that in 8 years, I've done what all I can do. Maybe I could have done something, but 8 years are here now. So as I pass it off to another mayor, then that person bring their skill set and their ideas about how to govern and how to keep the commission together to move forward. So I'm just happy that we do have another mayor, and that we have, it's what we call peaceful transition of power, and a really good transition of power. So that's great.
Recently, I found out, because I was helping somebody look for a place to live. And right now, in housing in Brunswick, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, the minimum cost is $1,100. Will there ever be housing in Brunswick again that will be under $1,000 for people that make minimum wage or a little over minimum wage to be able to afford a 3-bedroom and 2-bath?
Well, you're talking about affordable housing now. Affordable means affordable to whom? To me, or affordable to you, or affordable to someone else who has the means to pay for the house. And really, housing is really supply and demand. And the government doesn't have any say-so over that, other than we can try to help subsidize to get people into housing. And we have a program where we have first-time home buyers assistance. In other words, we will help them with a down payment assistance. So we do a lot of things we can to help our residents to have home ownership, because that's what we really want. We want home ownership versus rentals. We have a number of renters in our city. That's just the way it is. However, to help them with home ownership, we have a program, starting a program. I believe the new mayor will start a program whereby we offer these things to our peace officers, our firefighters, and our police officers to actually have that down payment assistance for our first-time home buyers. So we're doing all we can. And to answer the question, well, whether it would be under $1,000, I don't know how the market will play out. The market really drives that cost. When there's a lot of people looking for houses and there's not enough, the market will go up. And when there's not, the market will go down. So that's just the way it is. And
it's a tight squeeze, because if you can't afford that $1,000, some are forced to go into public housing or Section 8 until they can afford to apply to rent or to buy a home, because starting out in your 20s, buying a home is not everybody's ideal of starting out.
I agree. So the best thing we can do is to try to have employers give people a better ways or living in wages. But however, as far as setting the market rate for housing, that's something that the local government cannot do. So I don't have a solution to that issue, and I'm hoping that eventually there will become a solution to that issue.
Okay. Do you think becoming a commissioner helps before running for mayor?
It could. It all depends. There have been people who have jumped directly from civilian life into public service and become a mayor. It all depends on the skill set that you bring, and also the loyalty or the respect that people have for you to do that job. You know, they feel that you have that to do that job, to be a mayor, then you will get elected to do that. So it's really not a prerequisite to become a city commissioner before you become the mayor. It's not. But it could only help, but it's not a prerequisite.
Okay. What is the one thing you wanted to see completed before your term of mayor is up?
I really can't say. I think I've completed all that I can complete. I would like to see, I imagine, a lot more our roads paved. I want to see Coffin Park, our parks and squares looking beautiful as they are. That's about it. Sidewalks in our neighborhoods, more sidewalks. As far as a building, I wanted the conference center, but the conference center is not there. We're not going to do that, so that's fine. So, but I just like to see things just continue on. I like to see people just be together, continue to be downtown. I like to see more events happen downtown. You know, we have big events downtown, but, you know, even the micro events, let's have some more micro events downtown. So those are some of the things I'd like to see before I got out of office.
If you could have ran for a third term as mayor, would you have ran?
Probably at this particular point, I probably would have. But when I first came on board, I said no. I said that if I can't do something, put things in place after 8 years, I need to be gone. I need to have someone else come in and do something else. So, but one of the reasons why I would have said yes at this particular time is because finally we have a great city manager. We have someone who is here who is really moving things along, who's really getting things done. And the relationships that I have with the commission and with the city manager who does the operation of the city is just tremendous. In the last year, we have done so many things that makes life so much better for all our residents. And so, sure, I would have at this juncture, but before I would have said, no, it's time for someone else to bring their ideas, fresh ideas, and their skill set to moving the city forward.
Now, I just thought of a question when you mentioned the city manager. So between the city manager and the mayor, who's in charge? Is it the mayor? Is it the city manager? Does the mayor have the ideals, or does the city manager ideal? How does those two things work? Those two positions work?
Well, they work in conjunction with each other. The mayor, I can have all the ideas in the world, but my ideas are formulated with the city council. And we together, we formulate what we want directives, and we direct the city manager to actually do what we ask her to do. I mean, do those things, carry out those duties. But the day-to-day operations, what happened in finance, happened in public works, and all them other department heads, that's the city manager. The city council hires the city manager to actually do what it needs to do. In other words, you look at it from a corporate standpoint, the city council is like a board of directors, okay? And then they hire a CEO to actually run the organization. CEO is the city manager. So that's how basically it does it. There's no the power is inherent in both positions, the mayor and the council, and also in the city manager as she hires all the department heads to get the things done for the city.
Thank you for explaining that. So I think I asked you this before. What's your vision for the future of Brunswick?
Our vision, Brunswick just gonna boom. It's gonna be a very, very booming town. There were times when I wanted Brunswick to be on the map. I wanted people to know about Brunswick all around. When I go to conferences and whatever, I let people know Brunswick. And everybody would ask me, where's that? I said, well, it's midway between Savannah and Jacksonville, sit on the coast of Georgia. Say it is really a nice little place to be. But when the situation of events happen, tragic events, then everybody started knowing what Brunswick was. So people, whether it's good or bad, well, you know what Brunswick is, at least you know what Brunswick is, so, and that I think in the next coming years, it's going to be booming. I think our downtown is going to be just so active and so just electric. And I think what that's going to do is going to fuel over into the urban areas, like our Norwood Street, Albany Street, all the other things going to be filled in. And all these houses and all these vacant lots that have been just standing there for the longest, you're going to start seeing something happen to them. It always like this. Even with getting downtown to start popping, we had to have somebody start it. And a lot of young folks came up and started doing it, and I'm really, really glad of that. The city put together a lot of tools for people to do it, like the enterprise zone, like the tax allocation district, like the opportunity zone. All those economic programs will help people to develop all the areas in downtown, because basically the whole city of Brunswick has all those zones basically. But just like in any dance, when you go to a dance and everybody's sitting around, nobody's dancing, and it takes one couple to come out there and start dancing, and then everybody start coming. So it's almost like, who wants to be first? Well, we just want you to come have the opportunity to do some things, and quite naturally have an opportunity. Opportunity is there. So what you need to do, anyone, just go ahead and take that opportunity and let us help you be even better and get things done in the city of Brunswick.
I would like to see more live plays and more concerts come here, instead of us Brunswick people traveling to Jacksonville, Savannah, or Atlanta to see our favorite groups or our favorite singers or whatever, or plays,
Yes, that sounds good. But I think the fact that since Brunswick is a small market, it can't draw those big names people. However, when they are going to Savannah on their way to Jacksonville, they can stop over and do a concert real quickly and keep on going on down to Jacksonville, or vice versa, going up to Savannah
or Atlanta. Yes. Mayor, is politics still in your blood?
Public servant, yes, I'll say it that way. I just like helping people. I know, because I didn't get to where I am all by myself. People helped me. People would have poured into me. When I came to Brunswick, we lived in the project. We live in Brooklyn Home, 82 Brooklyn Home. Never forget that. And we stayed there. Then we moved to a little small place, 1610 Gordon Street, where it was it had the bathroom on the back porch. It had no hot running water. It was just I guess there was a time. It was dirt road. I guess there was a time. But eventually, as it moved up and times changed, and I got an opportunity to join the military, and I seen a lot of things, went around the world, seen a lot of places, but I want to come back here and do something for the city. I want to come back here and do something for my community, and to infuse myself back in the community. It took me a while to do that, but I am here, and I'm genuine. I don't really try. I'm not trying to fake it that, yeah, I'm just here trying to move up, move up. No, no, those things come. If they come, they come, or they don't come, it's okay too, as long as I can help somebody, because someone helped me. I did not get here by myself. I stand on the shoulders of a lot of people. I'm the product of so many people's dreams, my parents' dreams, my teachers' dreams. When they saw that little skinny boy in fifth grade, said, "Yeah, he's gonna do something," you know, somebody instilled something in me. Somebody gave me, motivated me as a kid, and I like to do the same thing. Come back and do things for our kids here too as well.
What's next for Mayor Harvey?
Mayor Harvey's gonna take some time off and chill, and then I'm thinking about I want to run for the county commission. Now, the reason why I want to run for the county commission is because it's still in the local community. I was asked to run for state senate or either state representative, but that's not where I want to be. That means I'm going to Atlanta and doing some things there, even though it will be have an effect here in our community as well. However, if I stay here, I think my effect would be even greater, be larger here. But it takes time to get elected. So I still got to get elected. People still have to see something in me that they know that I can represent them and do a great job. So my task is to convey some of the things, some of my past and some of my future skill set that people say, yeah, I want him to be my county commissioner.
Mayor Harvey, who inspires you?
A number of people, I'll say. I run into people every day who get me inspired. Really, sometimes just listening to kids and listen to them as they have their way about what they want to do, and it surprises me that they have such big dreams and big hopes, and then all of a sudden somebody kind of shut them down, and then they seem that they never get back. Some of them never get back on their feet. What inspires me a lot, I have good faith in God, and also I have a great pastor, Pastor Mark Baker, and then there are other folks too as well. But my grandfather really told me something way back when. He said, "Son," he said, "you're not responsible or held accountable how people treat you. You're only held accountable how you treat them." He said, "So treat them with kindness and love." And my mom used to tell me, she said, "Son," she said, "before you speak those words, taste those words before you speak them." Sometimes the words don't taste so good, so you keep them to yourself. Mm-hmm. But the inspiration that I have here is when I see what Brunswick can be, when I have the dream that what Brunswick can be, when I have the dream about what we all can be, and seeing that we all together can do a whole lot better.
Mm. What is your favorite scripture, phrase, or testimony that keeps you grounded?
I say this a lot of times. My mom was saying, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." A number of people don't know how to rejoice and be glad in that day or in that moment. Someone told me not so long ago, I guess a long time ago, that to be present in the presence. In other words, don't be, you're here, but you're thinking some other place, whatever. You're here. What you do now, it really doesn't matter. How you think about what you want to do, it does matter. So to be present in the present really is something that someone taught me that a long time ago, and something I will never, ever forget. But that's my favorite scripture, my mom's scripture, and I say it a lot of times too about that. This is the day, and rejoice in it each and every day.
And we're coming down to the end of our conversation. What is your words of wisdom or advice for someone who wants to go into politics and become mayor or commissioner?
I'm like Nike now, just do it. I would say, learn the things you need to learn, find out about what's going on in your community. As a young man, I would watch Jeopardy to learn words and learn things I didn't know. And I will also watch CNN headline news when it used to be on to find out what's going on in the news. Don't have to watch all of it, just to get the gist of what's going on. Don't be afraid to find out what's going on in your world around you. So when people ask you a question about it, you'll be able to talk a little bit about it, if nothing else. But I think as you keep moving forward, when you learn these things, just do it. If you want to become a public servant, to run for office, people tell you that you should do, but you got to believe in yourself more than anything else. You got to believe that you can. You got to believe in yourself that you'll be able to help serve somebody. You got to believe in yourself that self-sacrifice sometimes, and that you give up something to give something to somebody else. And more blessed to give than to receive. The reason why is that because you are blessed because you have it already. Okay. And when you give it to bless someone else, be surprised. It always comes back to you.
All right. Well, Mayor Cornell Harvey, are you ready for the holidays? I see you're wearing one of the holiday colors this morning.
I am ready as I can really be for the holidays. I'm so glad about holidays are great. The festive mood, the Christmas spirit. I get into all of that. I love the Christmas music, and the joy of giving. Is so prevalent. There's so many people who have without, who are doing without, and I see people are giving to charities and so forth, and that is so great. We Americans are good people by and large. We got a good heart, and we Christians are the same.
Well, Mayor Harvey, I want to thank you for having the ideal of serving your community way back when you were in the military, to come back home, because you could have gone anywhere in the world. You could have gone back home to your town of Tallahassee, Florida. You could have gone anywhere, but you chose to come back to Brunswick, Georgia, and give them an opportunity to be exposed to do some of the things that you have done. Thank you for your service, your 2 terms as mayor. Thank you for serving the people and overlooking the people during the trial. And have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year's. And there you have it, people. That was our conversation with Mayor Cornell Harvey, our first African-American mayor of Brunswick, Georgia. Any last words, Mayor?
Miss Bailey, thank you so kindly for allowing me to say a couple of words and to just espouse some of the things that have really been true to me, good to me. This community has been really good, and I really enjoy this community. I enjoy the people, and I enjoyed being the mayor for the city of Brunswick. And I tell you, is that people here, hopefully I left a trail wide enough for others to come along, and not narrow that they have to push their way through, but wide enough so they could come along. They can bring somebody to, arm in arm, wide enough for them to come up to the top. And when you get to where you're going, if I'm still there, I will help you get to, so you can be able to stay there. God is good, and I'm so proud of being the mayor. And thank you again for allowing me to say a couple of words, Ms. Bailey.
Yes, and thank you for accepting my invitation to a conversation. And maybe you'll be back when you get elected as county manager.
I like how you say that, when I get elected. Thank you so very much, Ms. Bailey.
You're welcome. And you continue to have a blessed Saturday.
Same to you. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you and everyone out there. Bye now.
Goodbye.